Hi. I've been a little MIA recently. I can explain. Kind of. Anyways. Okay, so basically I haven't really introduced myself super well, I don't think. Like even with the new booktube tag thing video. What I'm trying to say is I'm still a student, right? So I'm a high school senior who's also doing college stuff, so I get really busy sometimes, like doing homework for hours for like 5 classes. But anyways, I think we're done with that for a little while. And that's why I wasn't recording as much. There was a really big homework load, and also I really can't control my recording times. I really record just whenever I can. I don't know if you've noticed. Well, probably not. This is a sneak peek behind the curtain. And on top of all that, I'm sick just a little bit. I've got like a little bit of a sore throat, and some congestion, just regular stuff, which I don't know. I've had it for a couple days now. I think I'm fine though. But I'm being, very careful with the whole wiping everything down and doing the vampire cough and things like that. Very healthy, very conscious in this household. But today was wash day, which is why I look very relaxed. We're just chilling, sitting around, not doing much. And I thought I would just do this quick little video on something that I've been thinking about for a little while. And that is my favorite character tropes, right? I don't have many, so bear with me while I try and get through this. I don't know what happened. I got in front of the camera and all of a sudden I'm tired. That's so silly. It's kind of backwards, but I'm gonna start off with my favorite archetype. It is the the captain of the guard, or otherwise honor bound character. So you know how in books when there's like a main love interest, right? And it's usually a royal setting or something like that, and the main love interest is like the prince or the princess or whatever. But then like there's this other character, may or may not be love interest, it doesn't really matter. Typically they are, but they're they're a fighter. They fight for the prince or they fight for the princess. They're the captain of their guard or just their personal guard or what have you, and they're always together. That's like their homie. I love that character. I love that side character so much. I don't know what it is. A lot of the times, to me, it feels like in the actual stories that they're written up in, they don't really get, they don't get a lot of spotlight because, again, they're usually not like the central, they're like the forbidden love interest or something, or like they're just not a central character. So I personally am required to give them my love and affection. I don't know. I love that oftentimes they are put into a turmoil of like what they should do and what they know, what their duty is, basically. Like they're like that's internal struggle and conflict. I love it so much. So some examples of this would be Lucian from A Court of Thorns and Roses, Gray from A Curse So Dark and Lonely, Tavin from The Merciful Crows. And then there's another one that I have that's from a game that I don't think many people know about. His name is Kion Alvane from the Dreamfall saga. And honestly, I love the Dreamfall games. I would say it's kind of niche because they're not actually even finished yet, but just I love him so much. His growth as a character and figuring out his place in the world is amazing. Sorry, I got interrupted because my sister was calling me. One last one is Daisuke from Shadow of the Fox. I love him. He's beautiful. I love him. That's really all there is to know. I will say though that for him specifically, I feel like the honor thing is taken a little bit too far. Just because the whole thing where he's like, I have to fight or die trying. And it's like, what are you doing? You are too fine to be this silly. But anyways. Okay, so I love characters, typically main characters, who think that they are main characters who think that they're the smartest person in the room. Usually this happens in like con settings where like the main character is like the mastermind of the group and things like that. So recently I read Lies of Locke Lamora, and Mr. Locke Lamora himself, okay, that is a dude who is like playing 3D chess, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of got him, they blindsided him in the first one. They did, but you know, he recovered. He did what he had to do. Artemis Fowl is another one. He's so funny. And then last but not least, Kaz Brecker, you know. What is this? What is his name? Dirty Hands McGee. There's no McGee, just the Dirty Hands part. Yeah, I love characters that are like a little bit snarky, super smart, and always like, look, I'm 2 or 3 steps ahead of whatever's going on. Because I find it so funny when they get put off center, and then they have to be like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board, let's regroup and things like that, because they're so creative, and by extension they're authors. My third one is the sweet and innocent character that you love to root for. My examples for this are actually a lot of examples for this are from like animes. So Alan Walker from D. Gray Man, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, you know, they're so sweet. And then I have one from a book that I can think of, Yumiko from Shadow of the Fox. First of all, a lot of people say that they don't like her because she's too like naive and kind of ditzy, but I love her for those exact reasons, because she was raised in a monastery and doesn't know anything about being a person, I guess. Yeah, she was the only, like, I think, child that was there. And then she's just thrust into this adventure where she has to learn about the real world, and literally, like, one of the characters that ends up joining their group betrayed them initially. Like, he tricked them or something, but she was so kind to him that he was like, nah, man, I can't let anything bad happen to you, not you. And so he switched sides and became their friend. And it's like, that's what I like to see. I love, like, that is so funny to me. Like, just a person walking through the world and spreading positivity and kindness, and people being like, you know, they've got the right idea this one year. That is so funny to me. Fourth, okay, villains that switch sides. This one is one that doesn't happen very often, or maybe I just haven't read it often. And I love this trope a lot because to me it's like one of the best forms of character development, because we are introduced to this character who's a villain, you know, they're evil, yada yada yada, then we get to know them, and then it's like, oh my god, they're complex. They've got layers like an onion, and then they end up changing sides for whatever reason, you know, they have a crisis of conscience and what have you, and then they have to either atone. Well, yeah, atoning is usually what really cinches that arc for me. Because, for example, we all know Zuko is the blueprint for that trope. And in Avatar: The Last Airbender, he had to make amends. Like, he had to apologize to people. He had to go on an apology tour, like the 12 steps program for addiction. Like, you have to apologize to those you've wronged. And that, I feel like, is why a lot of times when more recent like takes on villains who switch sides don't really work for me, because it's like, okay, you were evil and now you're not, but you better go back and say, sorry, I used to be evil, and then do your best to fix it. You know what I mean? Because they've caused so much damage. Usually if you're a villain, you've done some stuff, and you can't just be like, oh, I'm good now, that was the old Kanye, that's not me no more. Like, you have to say sorry. And then my last one, which is not my favorite, but it's really, really good, and I love seeing it everywhere. The Idiot Bastard. So, a character who is just balls to the wall. Just nuts. Just chaotic. The only thing I can think of right now off the top of my head is Inosuke from Demon Slayer. Again, because that's a really good show, and also, I love him. I love him so much. Wow. But yeah, the comedic relief where it's just like a character who's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And if that involves going feral, so be it. You're just going to have to deal with it. They really break the tension in a lot of scenes. And I don't know, it makes everything less serious. Because, for example, Demon Slayer is very, very dark if you think about it. This kid, oh geez, like all the stuff he has to go through. But like one of his best friends is constantly like trying to fight people and walks around wearing a boar mask. For no reason other than he was raised by boars. You know what I mean? Like, it balances things out. It makes things a little less, like, crazy that are going on. And I appreciate them for that so much. But yeah, those are my top 5. Maybe not top 5. I don't know. This is not really a ranking, kind of. These are 5 character tropes I like a lot. That I think are really fun to use and read about or, like, watch and stuff like that. And yeah, I want to know if you guys have any ones that are different. Let me know about it. And yeah, sorry for the sorry for like disappearing kind of. I actually don't know how long it's been since I've posted. I don't keep track. I really do not. But thank you so much for sitting through this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.